Personal sources of income in retirement. So we just finished talking about all the expenses that you're going to have to cover. Now let's look at the sources of income that's going to help you provide for those expenses. There are two main categories, and that's Social Security and then your personal sources. So Social Security is going to provide about 40% of that income, and the other 60% is going to come from your personal sources, which include things like pensions, annuities, interest income or dividend income from your portfolio. You could also use the principal from your investments in your portfolio. And then you can also do things like part-time work. So let's talk about some more of those personal sources. So if you're one of the few lucky ones who still has a pension, then that's a good guaranteed source of income. And that's what you want, something that's more guaranteed, something that's not as tied to the markets as your investment accounts would be. So Social Security is not tied to the markets. It doesn't matter if the market's in a recession, those checks are going to continue coming in to help you pay for your bills. What other sources are like that? A pension is like that. But if you don't have a pension, then you might could create something like an annuity, which is segmenting off part of your investments that are fluctuating in the market and making them more consistent and reliable to have them come in as a check each and every month. So pensions and annuities and Social Security are guaranteed stable sources of income that don't depend on what the market is doing. They're not participating in those fluctuations in the market, and I think could make your retirement income, your lifestyle just a bit more consistent and more stable, which is good. Finally, let's say if you want to start looking at your investments. So if you want to start pulling money from your investments, how can you do that? Well, you can do it in the form of interest, or you can do it in the form of principal. So interest or dividends are paid like this. So the bad side about interest and dividend payments is that they don't happen on a monthly basis. So if you're trying to get monthly income, then that's probably not a great source to get it from. So you're going to have to, figure out where else you're going to fill in the gaps here and there because the dividends and interest payments only come in usually on a quarterly or semi-annual basis. So interest is something from your fixed income parts of your investment portfolio. So that includes your bonds, your CDs, any government bonds you may have. They're usually paying interest to your account. Sometimes that interest can be reinvested. In that case, then there isn't any extra cash there to be sent out to you. But if you're not reinvesting the interest, then you can have it distributed to you on a quarterly or semi-annual basis. And the same thing in regard to dividends. So your stocks or equities, they pay, some of them at least, pay dividends. And dividends are kind of like interest, but not exactly. But they're usually paid on a quarterly basis. And once again, if you're not reinvesting the dividends, then they're going to be sitting in cash, and that cash can be distributed to you, sent out as a check, or direct deposited into your account. So interest and dividends are pretty good because you're not taking from your principal. Your principal could be kind of bobbing around. If you think about like the ocean, think about the markets like the ocean. The tide's coming in and out. You got good periods in the markets. You got bad periods in the markets. But even though your account portfolio value may be bobbing around up and down, those interest and dividend payments, they tend to be fairly consistent, even though the schedule of payments isn't quite as frequent as you might need. All right, so the other option is to take from the principal. So that's probably the least preferable part to take retirement income from. So that's your investment portfolio items that are moving up and down with that ocean. They are bobbing up and down. So the bad part about this is that if your strategy is to take from your principal, then there's really just no way to dodge bad timing. There's going to be some time throughout your retirement life, or probably multiple time periods, where you're going to be taken at just an inopportune moment in the market. So if you're trying to take 5% of your portfolio and you got it pegged and it's right at 5%, but let's say the market drops 20%, all of a sudden you're not taking 5% anymore. You're taking a lot more than 5%. And this could be a problem for the sustainability and the long-term viability of that portfolio. So I think if your strategy is to draw from your principal alone, that you could have significant risks in outliving your money. But a financial plan could help you, figure out if this is a good solution, or the mixture of these items, the mixture of these sources that would work out best for you. But in the next coming sections, we're going to talk a lot about the other 40%, the Social Security, and even though some people are skeptical that it's going to be there for them, I hope that over these next coming lessons, you'll be more confident in the multitude of sources of income that's going to help you throughout your retirement years.